All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Here we go. We're doing another segment of, I haven't shot it yet, but I have the boards. I've already done the tech scout, but I'm going to walk you through exactly what we're going to do on the shoot to tell whether or not future me will actually be able to pull it off. Are these ideas that I'm cooking up, are they going to work? Anybody's guess. So let's come along. And that way also you see like what the real job is. And again, I think I prefaced this in the last video, but when I say what the real job is, I'm not doing any of this. Right? I'm not sitting down like today. What are we going to do? Today we're going to do these three shots. So we have husband and wife sitting down at a dining room table. Wife has to call somebody because old mate here is sick. Okay? We've got three shots that we need to look at. I'm not going through and sitting here like, oh, you know, I want the key to come this way, so I need a little bit of level there. I'm not sitting at these boards doing this. I mean, I was at one time when I didn't know any of this stuff, but now that I do, I never have to think about it again. The point of doing this is so that you can do that, and then you'll never have to do it again either. You'll just know this stuff, and we'll all be better off for it. So we come and we've got a location where we've got three different shots. This is different than the last video we did. The last video we focused on this one angle, right? And this one angle was 90 degrees of the location. Already here, on this part of the scout, I'm thinking, well, we have our 90 degrees in our wide shot, but then we have coverage. So this looks like this lady's angle, right? So now we're opening it up another, let's say, yeah, another 45 degrees there, and we're opening up another 45 degrees here. So now we're going to see 180 degrees of this room. So this is going to change what we can get away with for lighting based on how much time we have at this spot. It's also going to change where we're going to bring the levels from for these close-ups. Like all of that changes. The more shots that we add, the more it complicates. Well, where can we put the level in the wide shot to be able to sell it for the close-ups, right? Because the closer in you get, significantly easier. You're going to be doing the exact same thing. This close-up is going to be lit the same way as this close-up. Is going to be lit the same way as this close-up, as every other close-up, right? We're not reinventing the wheel. We don't have all day. We got to get this done. It's got to be snappy. How do we do it? Okay, let's look at the location. So just for our purposes here though, remember, guy and girl, circular dining room table. She's on the phone. He's staring at her. Okay, let's go to our actual location. So this is taken from the location scout. This location scout, this is a video. It's just still from the video. If you're a Patreon supporter, you can watch the entire video as I walk around this place and talk about the initial ideas. But we're going to talk about, okay, there's lots of different options. I can be anywhere. You know what I should do from now on? Because I'm pulling a still from where I actually want to shoot from. So it's giving away. It's making you not do any of the hard work. Because the hard work in here is, oh, where should we shoot from? Should we shoot from in there? This is the dining room. Should we shoot from over in the kitchen, looking at the dining room? Should we shoot from this door? Should we open it up and shoot from there? The answer to all of those things, unfortunately, has already been revealed. We should shoot from these cool doors, right? Where there's the most amount of space, where you can imagine now we're going to have a circular table. Where should we put these people? We get to put them wherever we want. Where would you put them? Well, let's just say the only feedback that we've gotten, let's just say your only thing that has to be in the shot is it has to be lit from above. Okay? It has to be lit from above because that's the style that the director would like. They want it dining room table at night. Husband and wife are having a conversation, an intimate conversation around a circular table. So circular table means now we can place them anywhere along here. What are we going to do? Well, I'll say this. If it's lit from above, right? We go through and we say, well, what kind of scene are we shooting? Let's do that first, right? Like let's identify what the blocking of the scene will be. We know there's only 5 options. There's only 5 different ways to block a scene. These are 2 people looking directly at each other. What kind of scene is that? That's right. It's an office scene. It's an office scene. 2 people facing each other. But Patrick, it's at a dining room table. Yeah. Is there 3 people in the scene? No. So it's not a dining room table scene. It's an office scene. So in the office scene, we know what? We know there's only 2 options. You can either be parallel to the window or you can be perpendicular to the window. But you say, Patrick, we're not You just said that we weren't going to use the window for the key light. Say, yeah, I did say that. You got me there. Doesn't actually matter. What we're going to do is, because we have to light from overhead, we're going to have to combine some of the elements we know about the dining room table scene to make it halfway interesting. So let's go here. 2 different ways you can play this. If it has to be from above, and there's a circular table here, if we place them here, right, and all of the level is coming down, what does that mean for this shot? Actually, that's probably easier looking at the board. What does that mean for this shot, right? Imagine if we lit it like this. That means all of the light is washing all over the people, right? Because that's how you sit around a table. You have the light coming down in the middle. So we got 2 options here. We could go the Bob Richardson, right? Which is blast all of this top light. Don't let it spill out of this prac, and blast it all the way down into here and then kick it back up. Even if you do that, they're completely front lit, right? That's what we're saying here. We're front lighting this. Front lighting is not great, okay? Front lighting, not bueno. We're not going to do that. Already I know that I probably don't want to do that. Unless for some specific reason it has to be that way, I'm going to avoid that at all costs. Why? Because the problem isn't just with this frame being front lit, right? Because you could make it cool, right? You can imagine a world where maybe it's, you know, kind of dark and down, and they're front lit, but not too bad. If they are front lit, we're definitely going to have to get an edge on them to just highlight that they don't just melt into the background and we get 0 depth out of it. But you could imagine like, okay, like a little prac in the background, some little bit of moonlight coming through this window. You could make it work. Is that the best we can do though? I don't think so. I mean, maybe you do. And maybe you're a fantastic cinematographer. Anything is actually possible. But that's not what we're going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the table and I'm going to say, okay, we're not going to light from, well, number 1, I want shears and curtains. Everybody should know this by now. I want shears, I want curtains on either side. And I want shears in the middle here. And I'll push a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of ambient. Are we going to say that, do we put over the table, because let's just say the circular table is here. If we put them here next to each other, as it's drawn in the boards, really our only option, if we're saying that this is like a proper dining room table, light, our only option is to front light them. We can't do anything else. What you always see though, and notice when you watch scenes where there's 2 people and it's lit overhead like this, what we want to do is, if this is the circular table, we want to get the light, the overhead light, behind the talent. So in this scenario, we want to get the light, this here, farther away from the camera than these 2, so that it gives us an edge light on both of them, and then it's dark to camera. And you're saying, Patrick, how can this possibly be, right? If they're here like this in this orientation, the light would have to be not over the table. And I'd say, you, sir, or you, madame, are absolutely correct. This orientation is not going to work. So that's when you start using your suave communication skills, right? You order information that is spewing from your face hole, and you try and go, how do I make it so that everyone thinks that this is the best idea not to have them in that orientation? What if we have them across from one another? I mean, they're basically doing that here. You're like, oh, it's not going to be as intimate. I think we can make it as intimate. Okay, let's get a smaller table. And then, you know, they're on like a Fisher-Price table. It'll be super intimate. I want the level. Imagine this is a top-down. Actually, let's go over here. Imagine now that this is a top-down view of this scene. I want table. I want person. I want light on this side. It doesn't have to be like all the way over there. It doesn't have to be up here, the light. I just want it on that side so that this side to camera is shadow. And I already know what I'm going to do. If that's the case, again, top-down view, table, person, light overhead, light coming this way, is I know, because the frame is going to be like this, right? Oh, let's just do the storyboard. Man, back and forth. Let's do the storyboard here. I know now, this is all shadow to camera. There's going to be a little bit of level here. If we need like more wrap, like say you don't want to make it super moody, whatever, for whatever reason, you can just cross key them this way and cross key this way to add level on this cheek. Okay? You can do that. That's one way that you can get around having it too crunchy here. I also know that I'm going to be edge lighting them from out of shot this way. And that edge light will probably be on, let's come back here to our board, or to our overhead, right? This is our table, talent, key light over the top over that side. I know that I'm probably going to have to run it from this side of the line, right? This near side of the line. Now, what I don't want to do is, if you say that to anybody, if you say that to the gaffer, you're like, oh, let's just run a little edge down here. I would say, please err on making it too backy. So please err from being on this side, because I don't want it. Come back here again, all this switching. I don't want the backlight. I don't want it filling in. I definitely don't want it like hitting her nose or hitting her cheek here. I just want it hitting like there, right? Looks a little bit like the Joker now. That's all. That's all. So when we come into the location scout, I already know what I'm going to do. Like, just from this one board, I know how we can make this way better, right? Because as we come up to the coverage, now imagine we're still on this side of the line, right? So key light coming this way, or this is overhead, right? Which we're going to probably bounce from the ground as well to make it not so toppy. Then we're going to be looking into shadow, and then you're going to have a little edge light here. And then in the background for her is going to be what? So she's on the left-hand side. The background for her is going to be our curtain and sheer, just slightly lit up with moonlight, right? It's somehow romantic, yet sad. And that's how you sell it. And so maybe we leak in a little bit of moonlight. There's obviously going to be haze, and we turn that prac on, and maybe we get some little aperture things back here in this little, whatever it is, little library thing, bookshelf. Get the hookah going, right? Maybe that's the reason why it's so hazy. And then his background is going to be the kitchen, which you don't see, but maybe we put a prac on this thing, or maybe a prac back there. We've got another window that we can add a little bit of moonlight through. But that's the idea. So these shots are already, so this is this angle. So imagine super, super shadowy with just enough level to wrap around here, just kiss that other side cheek. And then we're just going to run a little bit of light here, which we're faking from the practical that we might see over here, on the desk. And now we've got ourselves a little sequence, don't we? Is there anything else to think about here? No, it's just, once you see where the window is, like, okay, well, I definitely want that in someone's background because it's going to add contrast. So whose background can it be in? Well, let's make it in her background. So when we shoot that way, we're not blasting directly into the window. We want to shoot off a little bit into the curtain. We want to shoot a little bit off into the corner of the room to, maybe get a little light leak here on the wall, like a little tungsten-y leak from the practical that we're going to be using. This is bread and butter stuff. Very minimal setup, not a lot to do. Can we pull it off? I think we can. Okay, in the next video, we're going to look at another scene just like this because we got 2 more to do. All right, that's it for this one. Many thanks. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.